Hello there and welcome. It's time for round two of our three-mirror tournament from September at Magic Stronghold Games in Vancouver. And this time it'll be a game between Mario on the left and Ruby on the right. And Mario is playing Kanan with Sabine and Bounty Hunters, along with General Solo, Chewie, and Chopper. And so his third list was Hera, Ezra, and the Rebel Commandos. And it would be interesting to hear why he distributed them the way he did. A lot of times I'm seeing Ezra with Kanan, and a common squad I'm seeing is Ezra, or Kanan, Ezra, Chopper, and then because he's using the full Han box, you might think you just keep that intact, and then maybe throw the bounty hunters in for um, for Zeb as the last support. But he's done a bit of a shake up, and I'm sure there's some thought that went into that. So would be curious to hear why that is. But he had already used the Han Hera pairing, so obviously keeping his full Spectre list for his final game. And this team will be bringing 6 Force. The other team will also be bringing 6 Force. So this is Ruby's team with Obi-Wan and Hunter, which is a common pairing. Hunter, of course, having Wrecker and Echo and Tech. And Obi-Wan is bringing Barriss and the 104th. And her other squad was Vader Jedi Hunter. I assume that's where Rex and the Arfs ended up. So filling out Obi-Wan's squad with Barriss and the Wolf Pack. I would maybe bring a support with Kenobi that is also has defensive maneuver in order to generate more hunkers. But we shall see how this one goes. They're going to be playing on Sabotage Showdown and are about to pick the mission. So it looks like Ruby's going first because they've oriented the card in her direction. Got Kanan, the bottom left, positioned against Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Han is on the other side of Hunter, kind of the top. She's looking to see if Echo and Tech are in range of that objective. And it seems that they're out. So she's either picked Hunter or Wrecker, it seems. It must be Wrecker because now he's taking a dash, which is his tactic, and then another to ingress up. So yeah, Echo and Tech are out. She won't be scoring in this turn, and I don't think Mario will be taking it. So, not a horrible situation. Can recover from it, but hopefully she's able to to do that next turn, or even if a primary goes, uh, then Hunter will get a dash, so that would do it as well. If a primary moves, which is obviously quite likely in the first turn, if a primary is pulled, but she will control the two objectives at this point. Mario is picking Sabine. So Sabine will be able to give a Rebel Alliance character a dash. If they're a Spectre, they can get a hunker as well. And so she's going to dash Chopper forward, get him up the first ingress point, and then take an advance towards the other side there. She's going to spend a force to jump. No one there to do damage on. And better to take the ingress point than just the jump. And she'll take cover, taking a hunker as well, and we'll score 3. Seems like Hunter may be going here, giving a dash to a tech. Could get an advance for being bad batch as well, but she's just gonna put him right on that point, make sure she scores it. Then he's gonna take a move action to advance, and doesn't really have any targets at this point. Discussing the ladders that seem to have been intentionally split, so only going up one level each. So I'm going to put Hunter on that same elevation, same spot as Wrecker. So deciding to just keep him at the lower elevation. Probably hoping to go with him again at some point and be able to attack the back point, point that Chopper is by, but at the wrong elevation. But that will score her 3 points, land them on 0, and give each of them a momentum. Chewbacca's going next. He gets a dash as a tactic, but it has to be towards a primary character. So aiming the towards at Kanan, And so he gets a dash a little bit into the board, but more so kind of towards the center line. Then he's ending up within 3, so Kanan gets a hunker as well. Looks like he's aiming to move towards Hunter. And moving into the center towards the, taking the ladder up to that middle point. Seeing if he's within 3 of Hunter, for it's not wise to upset a Wookiee. He's going to take a shot. Shooting at record. So 3 damage, down to 2, and the shove doesn't do anything either. So Mario will get 3 points. Looks like Kenobi is being pulled next. And doing his advance and then jump, trying to get in range of Sabine. And it looks like he's not quite close enough to do the jump, but if to jump up. But if, I think Mario pointed out, if he jumps instead over towards the ladder, that he could take the ingress point up. But backing up here, the other option, and the thing that I tend to like to do with Kenobi, is reserve, especially if I've already reserved someone else. Then he just goes in for free, gets a jump. The heals don't generally matter in the first round, but they're backing up. I think using the jump to get to the first ladder on that building near deployment, and then advancing to the other and to be engaged with Sabine. So getting 6 damage, 2 shoves, disarm, and expose. And then following up 1. And so that'll be 4 points this turn. Next up is Kanan. And so Kanan can give out a dash to a Rebel Alliance character. But if it is a Spectre, then he takes a dash as well. Could probably dash. Well, he can dash Sabine back up, or Chopper to solidify that point more. Looks like he's going to be taking the dash himself. Not sure that he needed it in order to get close enough to that. But maybe thinks he'll need to take a climb. I mean, he should fit beside Obi-Wan at the top of the ladder. But so I would say, well, I guess that's the thing, is if he did dash Sabine up, then there's probably no longer room for Kanan. And then, well, see, though he fits there, so I feel like another body could fit beside if he wanted to. So could have dashed Sabine, unless he's on the other side, maybe. Yes, he was on Suresu. No, because he would have got that dash. Anyway, doing an attack on Kenobi, of course. I think he could have dashed Sabine up there and then just simply outbody Obi-Wan, double up on that point. If he doesn't want to do that, he could dash Chopper, I think, because there's another ladder to get him at the right elevation on that point. But getting the shove, so getting the shoves off for to get Kenobi out of there, and he'll get the 3 points back. Echo and Tech been pulled next. So Tech is going to keep a low profile, get the dash and hunker first. This will add one more die to their attack. Looking at going towards the back point now. So taking their move actions. Right. Was thinking about shooting at Chopper, but Chopper's still in the order deck, so he cannot be targeted by ranged attacks. So we're going to take some shots into Chewbacca. If she can get Echo in range of that point on the ground as well, then she will actually outbody Chopper and be able to take it. Starting with the back one. Right, so Echo and Tech, they can, because of Hunter, they can change a miss to either a hit or an expertise. So doing a strain and a damage. Chewie got a heal off of his defensive expertise, so he's going to heal the strain off. Second one attacking. So yeah, the first attack would have needed to get a reposition in order to get in range of that objective chopper's on. So unfortunately that's not happening. So 2 damage, shove, and strain getting through. Chewie healing the strain again. And but the one shove goes through there. No follow up on that one because it's the wrong direction of where they want to go. So considering fight smarter, not harder, which would cost a force, and they'd lose their hunker, and that would remove the control token. Here's control token from the objective, and it would remain tied, which would mean that he'd have to take it back. But deciding against that, so she will get the 3 points again, and Mario has picked bounty hunters, but he's going to put them into reserve. Which is a good idea, given that they're on kind of the wrong side of the board to affect much. And so I think Mario had forgotten his Shatterpoint card, so we're using Hera as the Shatterpoint. So he actually shoved Obi-Wan back onto that back point. So at this point, Obi-Wan and Barriss are controlling that back point. Hunter's probably out from the other one though. So Chewbacca could probably run over and take that. Because otherwise, Wrecker's a little hard to move. Um, and yeah, the other points with Barriss and Kenobi, it's going to be hard to flip, even if he does Kenobi. So he's going to go with Kanan, or Han. So seeing if Han can take his dash and actually sit on the that spot, given that the ladder is kind of sitting in the way. So they decide against that. So then he's going to climb. All right, so doing a move action. So Hunter could dash towards. Could have done that on Kanan's activation as well, but missed that. Might have been a good idea to take the Ingress point and up if he could fit, and put a second body on that objective that Han may be going towards. But I need to look at his tree. I wonder how much movement he can get. He's got a reposition on 3 in Gunslinger, and reposition on 4 in Smoke Scoundrel. The reposition on his expertise is on melee for Smoke Scoundrel, so that wouldn't work. So he's getting 4 through. So he can hit the reposition on either stance. But going to take the top. Just be on Gunslinger for 6 damage, expose, and then going to do the shove. Follow up there. Looks like he's sticking him, keeping him back to body up that objective. So then he's gonna pay 1 for outnumbered, not outgunned. Do a 5 dice attack, targeting a different enemy unit. Oh, so the first attack was on Echo and Tech. And this one is on Wrecker. Just doing 1 more damage through protection. And you're gonna score 3. So now that the parity was broken by Ruby on that one turn, they're not generating momentum on every 2 turns, and so this means that it's not just kind of a matter of time before Mario gets the struggle. Somebody's gonna have to shift things here. Barris is going next for Ruby, and used 4 speed and her move to get up to where Kanan is. Sounds like she's getting a full tree on this one. For 6 damage. Expose. A shove. Gonna get the free force push. Right, so order matters on this. So gotta do the shove first. shove or force push straight back. She can actually get a jump out of it as well if she wants to move around. Kanan gets a dash off his expertise. And Ruby scores 4 on this. So Han is going next. And so now Chewie is dashing down, taking the ingress point down further. And so he'll be in range of that point. Then, so Han will also get a dash. Getting ready to shoot Wrecker and attempt to push him off. So on Smoke's Scoundrel, doing disarm and a damage, 2 shoves, he gets a heal. So no damage will actually get through because of protection. He blocked 1 shove, but the other shove will get him off the gantry. Han following up, and so that'll be a 2-point flip for him to get 4 points. And so he's going to do a force to do another 5 dice attack into Wrecker. I wonder if he's looking to get maybe the pin and strain through. Get a bunch of conditions on him. Yeah, so getting the 2 steps, so pin, strain, and the rest is blocked by protection and steadfast. Oh, that's on Echo and Tech. So the shove and a damage will go through as well, but it looks like he's not taking the shove on that. So Wolfpack is going next for Ruby. And so they might want to go over towards Chewbacca and just outbody him on that point. That would flip 1 for her. Looking to see about getting in range of kind of Sabine and Kanan there for shots, I think. So seems like she wants to try and get a wound and start taxing some of the force economy there. So they're going to shoot Sabine. So yeah, she's exposed as well. Might be able to get the wound here, but going in, they could simply go over to Chewbacca and take that point, and then they'd also be engaged because they like to be in melee rather than ranged, because they have they add 2 dice for basically both being engaged with the same character in melee. So 2 damage and disarm down to 1 because of protection. So disarm is going to become a damage. That does get added to the it does get added to the damage pool, I believe, which would be lowered by protection. So I don't think anything would have gone through on that, but we are counting the wound on Sabine, so that'll be momentum. Kanan is going to jump forward and attack the wolf pack. I would have thought that he would actually jump onto the point with Barris and attack her, because then there'd be a potential to shove her off and actually flip a point for him on her turn, but she'll score 2, and they'll both gain a momentum. And I think he said that Han also paying a momentum, or paying a force to gain another momentum for his let's keep a little optimism. So that was off of Sabine's wound, or wounding Sabine. And then now, I guess, knowing that the bounty hunters are next, they can simply, with Kanan out of the way, they can simply get to that ladder with their dash and move, and then outbody Barris on that point. And that'll mean that he scores 5 and will win this struggle. Thinking about melee attack into Barris. And but he does see that she could get a reposition off of her expertise, which might threaten his back point. Simply getting 3 damage through on this attack, the first attack. Do 1 damage and a shove on the second attack. And follow up. So that will be 5. So that's where paying for that 1 more momentum from Han meant that he was able to finish the struggle on this turn. So it's a good forethought on that play. So the center point is going to remain inactive, and so it'll be either Han, where Han is, Chewie is, and the empty point on Mario's side, or where Obi-Wan is, bounty hunters, and Chopper. So going with that one, she at least has Obi-Wan's spot. And who hasn't gone? Everyone, I think she has her Shatterpoint left as last. So could have Hunter go give wolf pack a dash to get up. So the wolf pack would get, one of them would get up by the bounty hunters. Still not tie it, though. But Hunter could easily take that point from Chopper. I think it's going to depend where the priority is. Basically, priorities on that point. You could Shatterpoint Wolfpack and just have them shove one of the bounty hunters off. Just climb up. Not sure what. Okay, so somehow Obi-Wan, or maybe advance and jump to go up by the bounty hunters, and because she asked if they're part of the same unit, so maybe looking for the wound on this. But she's now left. Obi-Wan's now left the point that she had before. So quite the gamble to go for that priority point. And because it's either 0 or 2 for that priority point if she gets it. She did get the wound though. But Kanan is that wound's going to set off Kanan, and Kanan's going to jump and tie up that point again. Potentially shove Obi-Wan off. So nothing going through on the attack, but does tie up that point, so that'll sit them at 0. And so that'll actually give them both a momentum. Let's see, so that's where it would have been. You kind of want to leave Obi-Wan where he was on that point to at least get 1, and then Wolfpack, they've got to shove on 2. It's against another supporting unit, and so it's pretty likely that they could get one of them shoved off, and then that would take the priority objective. But you're still at least getting 1. You're getting 1 or 3 instead of 0 or 2. But Chopper will go next. And I think he's attacking, Echo and Tech. Getting 2 damage through. And so that will get the wound for a momentum. And so that sets something up. Oh yeah, so Han, when an enemy unit becomes wounded, then he gets a dash, so dashing down towards that objective with Chewie. Mario will only get 1 point on this. But last card of the deck, so not a lot of agency to do much there. So Ruby's picking Obi-Wan. Doing a jump to get the extra dice. I'm going to go over to the other side of him. So that means that won't be able to shove Kanan off. But if he does get the wound here, Barriss will be able to claim that point. And then he could maybe move to the other back point, to that back point that he left earlier. It's doing 9. 9, so got him to 9, 1 off. And then the dash is going to remove the pin. But realizing now that she can't get that, can't get the shoves through. So that'll be another 0 turn, unfortunately. But she'll get a momentum off of that. And Mario is picking the bounty hunters. And so they can wake up and outbody Obi-Wan on that point. And yeah, the other one's going to dash towards that empty point. That's the priority. And so all he has to do is move onto that point, and he'll be scoring 4 points on this turn. So yeah, they're both just going to move directly onto those objectives. So then the one is going to do a melee attack into Obi-Wan Kenobi. So 4 damage total. The other one is going to shoot at Obi-Wan. Nothing getting through on that one. But he'll still get the 4 points. And so another opportunity where maybe or who was wounded? Yeah, that was the end of last shuffle, so we might not have had the force to pay 1 for the momentum from Han when the bounty hunters were wounded, because he hadn't done the shuffle yet. Okay, so the priority token is on Chopper's spot, and we're going with Obi-Wan again. Looks like his card was pulled this time. Or maybe that's the Shatterpoint, I'm not sure. Not sure which is which there. Considered going towards Chopper, but I don't think she's gonna make it. So just moving down to take that point back from the bounty hunter. Getting a full tree here for 9 damage. 3 shoves. Disarm, expose, pin. Oh, maybe just getting 5, I guess. So 7 damage, which will leave them on 1 health left, unfortunately. But easily going to shove them off. So she scores 1. Gets momentum. And so, no matter what, Mario's going to win this struggle. We're getting Han. Gonna give Chewie a dash. Oh, I guess it's not just a dash. It's an advance because he's still in the deck. Right? Yeah. And then Han also gets an advance. And then well, he gets an advance, but that wasn't a move action. That was just off of his tactic. But anyway, Hunter getting a dash towards him there. So I'm gonna take a shot at Kenobi here. 3 successes through for damage, expose, 3 heals, and a shove, and that will end the game. So, yeah, I think as Mario was just starting to say before I paused it there, abandoning that back point was definitely a critical error in that match, because it put all the bags and all the eggs in one basket, as they say, for Obi-Wan to go and get that priority point. And yeah, like I said, there was a better option there with the wolf pack. Chopper just the one man on the back point, just holding that. The fact that he couldn't be shot and was sitting somewhere where he also couldn't be engaged was definitely crucial there, and played its part as it should. However, it was still a point that could be taken by getting enough movement. If someone had been able to get up to the proper elevation, or if Hunter got close enough so that it was 2-1, it could have been flipped. Until, of course, the second struggle, when he did get up to the proper elevation. But yeah, very well played by Mario. I'm wondering if the bounty hunters are with Kanan, because they don't really use any force. Like, he didn't use payday on them. He didn't use tools of the trade. And so maybe that's his way of saving force, so that Kanan and Sabine can use their force abilities. He never did end up using force push. The attacks gave him enough displacement, but he did. I think he pretty much put that force into Han being able to do outnumbered, not outgunned on his turn and the Shatterpoint, and even did let's keep a little optimism here once or twice in Struggle 1. And so really putting all his force into Solo. So I wonder if he were to do this a second time, if he would swap Chopper into Kanan's list and the bounty hunters into General Solo's list. But anyway, a good match between kind of a Spectre Rebel list and the and Kenobi Hunter, and so that was round 2, and round 3 will unfortunately be my game again. It's nice to get a little more diversity in front of the camera, but the last match will be between myself and Amber, who's Ruby's sister. So stay tuned and look out for that.